G'day folks, Adam Renouf from Renouf and Partners Financial Planning for this week's episode of Coffee Talk. Today I'd like to welcome Darren Halley from Integral Insurance Brokers. G'day Dazzler, how are you going?
Good mate, how are you going?
Excellent,
Thanks
mate.
very
Excellent.
much. Thanks for the invite, mate. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I think it's a vitally important thing that we're going to talk about today, but just let me go through the legal compliance stuff first. So, again, general advice warning, if you've got any specific requirements that you need to talk to about, either to speak to Darren directly or to myself, we can then tailor those. And again, Coffee Talk is brought to you with Renouf and Partners, Array Financial Planning, and Mainline Financial Services as well. So get on to that bit. So Darren is magnificent at his job. I'm obviously biased. He's my insurance broker. He does a fantastic job, but it is vitally important to deal with specialists who do the right thing, and Darren's going to tell us everything that we need to talk about today. So, big fella, first one is, why deal with an insurance broker?
Yeah, well, it is a good question to start off with, mate. So, but I think, look, the most important thing to understand is an insurance broker is actually employed by you, the customer. So we're not there as an advocate for the insurer. We're actually there as an advocate for you as the customer. And in fact, you know, all of the work that we do is always in the best interest of our client. It's not in the best interest of the insurer at any point in time. So, you know, we've got experience across all different ranges of policies and products. We understand the differences, and you know, our job is to try and understand the risks and understand what our clients' needs and requirements are, and then to make sure that we tailor an insurance program that suits their needs. And at the end of the day, most importantly, that if and when a claim arises, that you're there and you're protected and you've got someone in your corner looking after you at the same time. So
absolutely, and I can vouch for that. You've done that for us.
Yeah. We've had a few of those. Always is the case.
Perfect. And that probably ties in perfectly with this next slide, because it's not just simply getting a quote, right? So
no, it's not. And look, to be honest, it doesn't really even start with a quote from an insurance broker point of view. I think it starts with understanding the needs of your client in the first place.
Yep.
And particularly, I guess the needs in terms of what the client actually expects or requires or thinks that they require, but also providing advice around risk as well. So, you know, what are some of the potential risks of that type of occupation or industry that you're in, and making sure that there's an awareness around those risks, and then agreeing on what risks you're prepared to take as a business or as a individual person,
yep.
and then being able to cover those risks as well. So, so all the way through the process, I mean, from the time of providing advice around risk, understanding what the needs are of the particular client, and then putting an insurance program in place in terms of placement with an insurer, the right insurer that provides the right cover, making changes as we go, as the business evolves or the person's assets change, or any requirements that need to be made. And then, again, most importantly, claim time. So if the claim arises, the role of an insurance broker is probably the most important at that point in time, to make sure that, one, they're an advocate for their client at the time of the claim, but also they do the grunt work. You know, all of the work that goes on in the background is done by the insurance broker and not the client themselves.
Absolutely, and a lot of that ties into your original conversations, so people know exactly where they're at.
Yeah, that's right. Well, they understand.
Yeah.
When that need arises, you know clearly what you're going to be protected for and what you're not going to be protected for. So
yeah, exactly.
So it's not a surprise at the end of it. It's always it's an educated process. So.
Yeah, cool.
But claim time is the most important, and that's when you can. I think when, you know, value for money becomes obvious to people who are insured with a broker, that they can see the work that goes on and see what they get for their service.
Exactly, and that'll tie in with this one here, and I thought that was quite appropriate.
Yes, it is. Yes, it's certainly
the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I suppose COVID's brought a whole other level of pain into that recently as well.
Yeah, look, that's right. I think I mean, for the good, the bad, the ugly, there's plenty of good stories out there at the moment, which is nice. You know, COVID has had an impact, both good and bad, in certain industries. You know, particularly if you think of, you know, transport industry, you know, warehousing, logistics, that sort of stuff have actually gone gangbusters in the market. And there's people that are doing really well as a result, buying a lot of assets. You know, residential construction is still going well, particularly, you know, in the regions. But then, you know, unfortunately, there's some pretty meek and mild stories out there as well. And, you know, hospitality, tourism, and commercial construction, for that matter, as well, has really been hit hard. And there's, you know, some of our customers are really suffering, and it's been a really tough time for them. And for us, it's been a case of trying to maintain cover for them, you know, making sure we're managing, you know, I guess as best as we possibly can, the retention of their cover, but also, you know, where we can, reducing cost, and then obviously negotiating with insurers to retain cover and to delay payments and those sorts of things as well. So there's been a fair bit of that going on, but, you know, probably the ugly is you know, the fallout from, and it's not just COVID related, it's sort of all coming to a head at the same time. But obviously travel insurance has been a disaster, and you know, we've had actually one of the largest corporate travel insurers pull out of the market about a week and a half ago. So they've lost so much money as a result of the COVID crisis. So and, you know, we're still getting claims paid at this stage for you know, impact of the pandemic earlier in the year. So there's been massive delays. It's been it's been a fight to get to this point in time. But travel insurance has really struggled. But, you know, look, probably you know, broader than that, there's been the issues that we've got out of London from you know, for more harder to place risks that we would go to London to get support on. London's turnaround times are horrendous, you know, because they're all working from home, and there's issues, COVID issues, obviously, over there as well. And you know, from their perspective, it's they're also increasing prices because there's been massive issues, you know, in terms of losses around you know, harder to place type markets. You know, if you talk about recyclers, or you talk about, you know, inferior construction such as EPS, which is polystyrene, the issues that we've had, you know, with the composite panels in Australia, not only in Australia but all around the world, that's having an on-flow effect for insurers and insurance companies. So for us, the ugly is that it's you know, getting placement, but also getting cost-effective placement for customers, and you know, with the right cover, you know, at a price that people can actually afford. So
correct.
That's the real challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's interesting that sort of leads right directly into this one. So it isn't all about price, it's having the right product. And again, just to give you a plug, is the highlight that you brought to us about cybersecurity.
Yes, yeah. Look, it's not all that price. And to be honest, you know, and I'm probably talking on behalf of any insurance broker when it comes to this. You know, that's not our first position at all. And I know price is very important in the selection process, and we'll make sure that we've got an eye on that the whole time. But there's absolutely no point in us providing an insurance program or insurance policy that's not going to respond come claim time. So it's just pointless. So I'd rather not sell it, and I'd rather, you know, provide that advice and have someone go to a direct insurance company themselves, or, you know, whatever they need to do. But at the end of the day, there's no point in selling an insurance policy because it's might be half the price or whatever else than what we can get it for. But if you can't get a claim paid on it, it's not worth the paper it's written on in the first place. So yeah, there's plenty of examples of that, unfortunately, that we see, and we try and get involved where we can to help those customers that are, you know, that may be insured direct and they have claim issues. Yeah, at the end of the day, it's about making sure that you understand the risks, you understand the policy conditions and the terms that apply to it, and then accordingly you place the customer with the right insurer, you know, hopefully with the right price as well.
That leads us into this one when you talk about the right insurer. And obviously, this is the opportunity for you to give yourself a plug, but you're not held to using one insurer. Your insurance universe is massive, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Look, the majority of brokers have got access to a lot of insurers around the world. So we've got, would be close on 200 insurers that we can access for property liability, asset protection. And to be honest, we use a lot of them. There's a fair bit of those that we use, look, I'll talk about an issue that we've got today. It's a bit of a tough one, but we've got one of our customers has actually had a fatality in the last couple of days with one of their employees, and probably not the right time for them to be thinking about insurance, to be honest. But for our point of view, we spent a lot of time going through the right covers and their risks particularly, and as a result, we've been able to get cover for workplace manslaughter, which is a real risk for every business owner now. That's particularly blue collar type industries, and in this particular case, we've been able to at least give them a level of comfort that if anything was to eventuate around inquiry or costs related to that we've got some protection for them around that. So, but that's what an insurance broker does, and that's certainly what we do as a business. Is we make sure we understand the risks, and after understanding the risk, we make sure that we get the right insurance in place, and we try and get that as the best possible price that we possibly can for our customers. But being an advocate is what it's all about. We're not here for the insurance company. We're not there to sell business for one particular insurer. We will go as far and wide as we possibly can to make sure we get the right outcome for our customer.
Well, and I can vouch for that. And what's interesting is Steve and Alex and myself, we're so geographically diverse, yet you still service a majority of our clients for the three businesses across the board.
Yeah, look, that's true. That's true. And look, we do that either face-to-face or over the phone or however we do that.
Or via Zoom, right?
Via Zoom, yeah. It's certainly the new wave. That's right. That's for sure. So, yeah. But, look, don't hesitate. We spend a lot of time both in the Yarra Valley or Melbourne or et cetera to see our customers face-to-face, particularly when they need us. So that's what we do, and that's what we like to do, to be honest. We like to get and see our customers, and hopefully we'll be able to do that again soon if these restrictions continue to be lifted. So
absolutely.
Look, we're very much a face-to-face model. We love to interact with our customers, and we like to understand their businesses and their requirements, and that's probably the most important thing when you're trying to place cover or understand someone's risks so you can get the right insurance in place. You need to
absolutely. No, that's great. Mate, thank you for your time today.
No worries.
As I've said, for anybody who's interested in any insurance product in any way, shape or form, either contact myself, Alex, Steve, or Darren direct. We'll be more than happy to pass Darren's details on. They are fantastic. The whole team at Integral is magnificent, and Darren is brilliant at what he does, and we've got more than enough customer testimonials to say that. So thanks for your time today, mate. Much appreciated. Thanks, folks, for watching Coffee Talk, and we look forward to catching up with you again next week. Take care.